So once again, congratulations and welcome to Berkeley today. It's been so nice getting to know you over the last couple days, and I hope you've been enjoying your time and the weather here and getting a lot of your questions answered. My name is Julie McShane, and I'm the Associate Director of Career Services for the Masters of Engineering program, and I've been working in higher education for over 12 years now. In different student services capacities, mostly in career services, and I've been at Berkeley for 8 years and with the Fung Institute for 5 years since the inception of the Masters of Engineering program. And like many of you, I'm not originally from the Bay Area. I'm originally from Chicago, and I have lived and job searched in Madison, Wisconsin, Boston, Massachusetts, Tokyo, Japan, and San Francisco. So I know what it's like to move to a new place and be worried about job prospects. Since moving here in 2008, I have not turned back. It's a wonderful place to live, and I hope that many of you will come to agree with me. So this is what I plan to cover today before we get to our student panel. You heard a little bit about me. I'd like to see who's out there. I know you've had a lot of opportunity to get to know one another, but just by a show of hands, how many people traveled internationally to get here? Great. Well, thank you for coming such a far distance. How many people are in Berkeley for the first time? Wow, great. A lot of people here for the first time. And where are our EEC students? How many EEC students we have here? Great. IUR, ME, MSE, BioE. Great, you're everywhere. And nuclear. We have nuclear. Thank you. Thank you for coming. So as you can see, we have a very diverse group today, and like we do every year, entering the Masters of Engineering program. And what I hope you get from this is that our services are really here for everybody. And I hope to answer a lot of your questions and topics of interest as I go through what we offer, our programs, our events. And then we'll get to our current student and alumni panel, and you'll get their perspective on the Masters of Engineering program and job prospects and what they're doing in their careers and how their job searches have been going this year. So in our program, the Career Services team consists of Jocelyn, Faye, and myself. And you've met Jocelyn over the last couple days, and she'll be moderating the panel, so you get to speak with her some more. And our goal is to help you with whatever your objective may be for the year. We want to help you find the resources, the connections, and a path to success, whatever that may be. If you want to continue your education, if you want to go on to be an entrepreneur, if you're looking for your first job, or you're a career changer. We work with people at all different points in their career, and we've devised programming to help you wherever you are. And as you can see, in lots of different career interests. So that is our goal. Not only are we hoping that you have a successful job search while you're in the program, but we're hoping to provide you with the skills to have a successful job search at any point in your career. So you will have the skills and the know-how to conduct and be successful your first job, your second job, and throughout your career. So how do we do that? Some of our support services are specifically customized for you. One of the main things that we do is one-on-one career coaching. And we're available at any point to come meet with Jocelyn and myself. And we can go over anything you need at any point in the job search cycle. So you can come to us early, and we can work on reviewing your resume and writing a cover letter. You can come to us to help devise a strategy, to think about how you attack the year. If your job search isn't going well, we can revisit what you've been doing, what's working and what's not working. And we do mock interviews, so you can come with us to help prep for your job interview. And again, we can debrief after each interview. So we really want to help you throughout the whole process. And then when it comes down to the offer, come see us again. We're here to help you negotiate the right offer and the right salary for you. Some other things that we can help you with is your branding, your online brand, your in-person brand, kind of starting to think about how you're presenting yourself to employers and to the world. And then aside from our in-person services, we also send out targeted emails, specific Masters of Engineering emails to help alert you of job prospects and let you know what's happening on campus and in the greater Bay Area, because there's so much happening. We try and make it convenient, digestible, and biweekly emails to you. And we also organize lots of special events, and I'll go more into that later. And as you've heard today, networking is really at the heart of it all. So we try and make lots of opportunities for Masters of Engineering students to get to know one another, each other, people on campus, and industry professionals as they are coming to campus or in the Bay Area. So some of our programming is split into really 3 phases, and we start working with students over the summer. So you'll hear from Jocelyn and myself starting in June, and we start really early because it's a 1-year program, and we want you to be successful, and we want you to have all the opportunities possible. So when we start working with students in June, we call that phase 1, and we work with everybody remotely that's available over the summer to work with us, but we have webinars to help you put together your documents so you're ready when you get here. And by documents, I mean your resume and your cover letter. We do a webinar on how to develop a portfolio that is really specific to a certain subset of Master's Engineering students, but a lot of mechanical engineers and bioengineers might really benefit from having a portfolio together. So we do a webinar on that. We do a webinar on building your LinkedIn profile. So again, that is ready to go, and you can start connecting with one another. And we also have a series called Ask the Expert. So you start interacting with alumni over the summer in various industries. So you can learn about these industries before you get here. We do one on the biotech industry and how to break into it. So you can understand all the different avenues that you might take, and you can start researching and be very prepared for when recruiting starts in September. Another early recruiting industry is consulting. So we do an Ask the Expert webinar with an alumni that works at McKinsey to talk to you about how to get ready to recruit in consulting. So that's from June to early August. And by the time you get here in August during boot camp, we have workshops that are more interactive at that point. So we enter phase 2 into our career programming. And at that point, we do a business etiquette workshop, and that is it's a fun event, but really helps you and reminds you as you're getting into recruiting and potential dinners and lunches with employers, some important things to think about, but also gives you an opportunity to get to know one another. We also do workshops on interviewing skills, so brushing up on those for everything from technical to behavioral, and reviewing the case method for those people that are interested in consulting. And this is before September. So by the time September starts, if you're interested in recruiting, you should have the skills to get started and to be really successful and to spend some time focused on interviewing if that's what you choose to do in the fall semester. And then as we enter into the academic year, we have programming that allows you to explore a little bit more, form those connections, and start engaging with industry professionals. I just want to spend a second on Career Chats. It's a series that we have that changes year to year. We usually focus it on what students are interested in. And as we get a sense, we'll bring in alumni and industry professionals based upon what students have expressed interest in. And year to year, there are some similar trends. We always have one on product management. We always have one on medical devices and startups. But that's a specific Masters of Engineering series to give you an intimate way to get in front of industry professionals. And Beth also mentioned the career rep responsibilities. and leadership opportunities. So this is where the career reps come into play, and they really help us with a lot of these career chat events, and 2 of them are on our panel today. So if you have questions about that type of leadership opportunity, you can definitely ask them. But they're a huge part in liaisoning with the class and with the career services team to make sure we're putting together programming that's of interest to the class. And when it comes to connecting with industry, that is something that we try and focus a lot of attention on. Everybody starts working on their resume really early, so the resume book is the first thing that we put together and that we send out to the employer community for the new batch of Masters of Engineering students. So that's done early, and that's a great thing to take advantage of. Put your resume in that book once you've been able to work on it. And our first event is an employer breakfast, and that coincides with the beginning of recruiting at Berkeley, which is early to mid-September. And we host a breakfast, and that's an opportunity for employers to come and just have breakfast with Masters of Engineering students. Students get jobs just from that breakfast, so it's happening early. Interviews come from networking just at that event. We also have an alumni brunch that we do early in the fall semester, so you can start meeting alumni in the Bay Area. We just had an alumni happy hour, our spring event last month. We had over 90 alumni RSVP for it. So our network is strong, it's growing. Alumni, we have 2 of them here today on the panel. They can probably speak to this a little bit. But it's a great community, and alumni are really excited to give back and be involved. And they help throughout the job search process. You'll see them at events. We also have a directory, a way to get in touch with alumni. And they also offer mentoring opportunities. We started a program this year called Alumni in Residence, where we have alumni come in and do office hours for a day and talk to you about their job. We had somebody come in from Google, somebody from NASA, and tell you about their job, how they got it, do they like it, and help really with any career-related questions. So another way to engage with the alumni community, to learn a little bit more about how you can put your best foot forward. Another exciting event that we do is the Startup Networking Night in San Francisco. I like to highlight this because it's it's a showcase event, and it really shows you why coming to the Bay Area is so exciting. We have usually 50 to 60 different startups come to this event, and it's everything from medical devices to consumer electronics to apps, but this is what being in the Bay Area is all about, these exciting startups, and there's a lot of opportunity there. We do this event with Haas and the School of Information, and again, I think that really shows how you can meet people on campus, so not only each other, but there are a lot of people on campus that you can meet and network with and learn from. So that's a great event that we have every spring. And that's where that picture's from Lyft. Lyft has been there for the last 2 years. And then we have info sessions. So I'm sure a lot of you have been to info sessions at your home institutions. We have them too, employers coming to meet and hold info sessions specifically for Masters of Engineering students. So this is another opportunity to learn about jobs. And they come and meet with students throughout the year. And then not only do you have access to these programs that we're putting together, but you have access to the greater campus resources. There are 8 different career fairs throughout the year that the Masters of Engineering students can partake in. Berkeley's on-campus recruiting program, the greater campus program, is very robust. There are employers coming here to meet Berkeley students. They love our program. And they want to hold their interviews here. So they're coming here specifically to meet Berkeley students and Masters of Engineering students. And then you have the greater Bay Area Ecosphere. There's events happening all the time. There are meetups, there are conferences. As you heard on the panel this morning, a student found his job through attending a local conference that he heard about through campus here. So there's a lot to do. There's a lot that will keep you very, very busy. As the students talked about this morning, prioritizing your time and time management are very important. But there's no shortage of ways to network, to connect, and to really explore your possibilities. So that's a little bit about what we do, the services we provide, the programming, the events. For the next few slides, I want to go into last year's class. So at a glance, let's look at the numbers. This is a lot of the questions I get revolve around this. So what's the salary? Who is doing what? So this salary information is cumulative over the last few years, so from the graduating class of 2012 through 2015. So this isn't just from last year's class, but that is the average starting salary and signing bonus. Within 6 months of graduation, we hear back from 90% of our students that they're working in their chosen field within 6 months of graduation. Our survey says that 60% graduate with a job. So that if you want to graduate with a job, it is possible. It's a fast year. You're really, really busy. My advice is always to take advantage of all the resources that we're offering. Start working with us over the summer. Attend our workshops. Go to the networking events. And if your goal is to graduate with a job, that is very, very possible. Many students start interviewing in the first semester. 76% have at least one interview in the first semester. Some choose to wait, but many get started right away. We had over 200 interviews with 90 different employers. So there are a lot of different employers coming to interview students. And then we have students go on to start their own company. And you've heard a little bit about that today, too. So there are a lot of exciting companies that have come out of the Masters of Engineering program. And even if entrepreneurship isn't what you're interested in, it's interesting because these are the people you are sitting next to in class. And there are exciting projects happening, a lot you can learn from. And they hire, too. We have had a few of these companies that have gone on to hire our students. So those are great connections to be made as well. Last year we had 7 students go on to get their PhD. And the year before that we had 5 students. So there are students that decide to continue their education. And one went to military service. And the average work experience is approximately 1 year. So, and that's pretty consistent from year to year. About 30% have work experience, and it's about 1 year of work experience. A lot of students have questions about getting jobs as an international student. And I'll let you ask those questions specifically if you have them during our Q&A. But I will say international students have been equally successful. So for all of these numbers, 90% graduate reporting back jobs, that includes international students. I will say international students sometimes have to work a little bit harder, apply to a few more jobs, do a little bit more due diligence and research to find those jobs, but they are equally successful. We usually have about 60 to 70% international students in the program, and they tend to be equally successful in finding their jobs after the program. So where are they? Most people that come to this program are very interested, especially after they come here, even if they didn't think they wanted to be in the Bay Area, they then want to be in the Bay Area. So we have a lot of students that stay, even if it's just for a year or two. And this shows where our students from last year are clustered in the United States. So like I said, the Bay Area is very popular, and there's a lot of job opportunities here. We also have students that go down to Southern California, LA, San Diego, and then it varies a little bit by industry. We have students that are more interested in finance, and they might be in New York. We have students in Texas in the energy sector. We have students in Chicago. And Massachusetts is a big hub for biotech. So it varies a little bit by industry. And then other notable locations. Not everybody stays in the United States. From last year, we have students that went to Paris, Beijing, Singapore, Oxford. So it's not just the United States. But this kind of highlights for those that are staying in the United States where they spread out to last year. And since salary is always such a big question, I wanted to break it down by department for you. And this gives you a little bit of an idea. And even within department, there's a spectrum because it depends on a lot. It depends on your work experience, what type of company you're going into. But this gives you a little bit of an idea. Some areas tend to have signing bonuses, some don't. And there is a variance. But this breaks it down by department for you. And again, this is from the last few years, the reported salary. Unfortunately, I don't have anything reported from nuclear engineering. But if you have some questions specifically, I could point you to some resources for average salaries. So this gives you a little idea of what our students are graduating with after the program. And where they're going. So again, broken down by department over the last year, where our students interviewed. So not necessarily where they ended up working, but by department, a lot of the companies that came to interview our students. And you can see it varies by industry. We have students going into high-tech startups, consulting, and then what positions they're getting. And this is where they're landing after the program. So this gives you an idea of what a lot of students go on to do. So with that, I hope that gave you some insight into what we offer to help you land your job after the program, some of the things that we can do to help you along the way, and where our students traditionally go after the program. So that is enough from me. I'm happy to take a few questions, but I want to get to the really exciting part of this presentation. We have two current students, and we have 2 alumni that have come to join us today to answer any of your questions as it relates to their careers or life. So thank you for coming again, and I will invite up our panel.